Happy Tuesday, everybody, and happy Valentine's Day from everyone here at Prime Sports World. Today, you're probably all doing Valentine's. Let me get that back on the stream. Happy Valentine's Day, and today we're going to talk about a different kind of gift NFL awards. These teams have earned those. We're going to talk a little bit of the breakdown, a little bit of analysis. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. And if you do happen to miss us live, you can also catch us on a myriad of streaming platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, and iHeartRadio. So keep an eye out for that content. I'll share the link to that as well. Also, I'm going to share the StreamYard link into all of the places. So if you want to join us and talk the NFL, more than welcome to do so. But please have knowledge of the league before you join the show. Izzy, man, happy Valentine's Day, man. Happy Tuesday. How are you, bud?
Happy Valentine's Day, ladies and gentlemen. Couldn't be more glad to spend my Valentine's Day on the show talking about the NFL awards, baby.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, hell yeah. We're going to break down every single award. We're going to talk about why that player won. If we have any grievances with any of the awards, just a small spoiler here. Yeah, I got no problems with every single player that won the award. I think was pretty well deserving.
Absolutely. Patrick Mahomes, MVP. DPOY, Nick Bosa. Godly.
We'll get into it.
All of them.
So please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. And I have shared the link to the streaming platform, so check that out as well. I'm David Huffman right there as the CEO of Prime Sports World, Mr. Israel Rivera. Let's get into the content. Let's not waste any time. Let's talk about the NFL awards. First of all, most valuable player, Patrick freaking Mahomes. By the way, fun fact, while I was doing the research for this video, I found out that all of the awards in the National Football League are the same.
Like they look the same?
They look the same. Like, in the NBA, like all of the awards for the NBA all look different. They have different people on them. The NFL awards are literally the exact same award. They just get I was shocked, like legitimately just shocked that they didn't have like a custom MVP, a custom Coach of the Year award, a custom.
It's giving me cheap. It's giving me cheap vibes, David.
Yeah, it's true.
Give me cheap.
The NBA has no problem spending money, but the NFL, they're like, nah, we're not spending that money. We
ain't spending that money.
We're gonna put it in our pockets. Patrick Mahomes led the league with 41 touchdown passes this year. Basically, he was awesome down the stretch. Jalen Hurts is the only guy that probably had any kind of real argument for this award. Just a quick shout out. Dak Prescott did win Walter Payton Man of the Year, but that will not be discussed on this particular show. But Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Justin Jefferson were the guys in the running. But I think the right guy won this award. Patrick Mahomes had a fantastic season. Is he?
Oh, I'm here. Yeah, I think we lost connection there for a quick second. Yeah, sorry about that. No. Patrick Mahomes, like I said from the top, well deserving. I think Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen came second and third respectfully, and they each got a first place vote. It's probably an Eagles fan and a Bills fan.
No, it's probably their Eagles sports writer and the
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, Eagles sports writer and the Bills sports writer. Yeah, not whatever. You know what I mean. So Patrick Mahomes had an excellent regular season. I mean, he capped it off with a Super Bowl win, right? And everybody thought that he was going to struggle a little bit with the kind of ragtag wide receivers that they kind of gave him, right? With Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I mean, they thought with the roster of Hevel of losing a Tyreek Hill, you kind of expect the team to regress a little bit. That just didn't happen. Obviously, he didn't get to like the 55 touchdown passes this season, but he still had an excellent football season this season.
Oh, he had. I think he had probably the best touchdown to interception ratio in the league, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, he was like 40 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, something like that. I'm not looking at the stats right now, but it has to be probably one of the best. Him and Daniel Jones have to have like some of the best touchdown to interception ratios this year. Like I said, well deserving.
For this season, 5,250 yards, 41 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 77.6. All of those were first. So
let me say something about Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts. Well, let me say something. Jalen Hurts probably, if there was a most improved player award, he should get all the votes.
I agree.
For it, first of all. Josh Allen, very disappointing. He was my front runner for MVP to start the season. He was your front runner for MVP.
I think he was a lot of people's front runner for MVP.
Yeah. And so for him to finish third, for him to not even make the Super Bowl, this was quite a disappointing season for Josh Allen. I hope he bounces back next year. I still think he can win an MVP one day. Maybe it's next year. Wasn't this year? Patrick Mahomes, well deserving young man.
100%. By the way, best touchdown interception ratio. Actually, Patrick Mahomes is. Hold on. For some reason, he's not on this list. Oh, Patrick Mahomes is fourth this season in touchdown interception ratio. Do you know the three quarterbacks that were ahead of him?
Geno Smith, Daniel Jones.
No.
Neither one of those guys. Holy
Neither.
Smokes! Oh my gosh, Jalen Hurts definitely.
Jalen Hurts 3.67 touchdowns to every interception he threw. You will not get the other two guys, I don't think.
Is it that bad? Is it like?
I wouldn't say it's that bad, but Jimmy Garoppolo was second. He had 4 touchdowns to every interception he threw this season. Brock Purdy had 3.25 touchdowns to every interception he threw. Number one is
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff was number one. 4.14 touchdowns to every interception he threw. Jared Goff had a phenomenal season this year.
He had a hell of a season, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
hell of a season. If there was a comeback player, there's the comeback player of the year award. Did he get it? I don't know who got it. We'll get
into it. We'll find out.
We'll get into it. Let's do it.
Yeah. But yeah, Patrick Mahomes, well deserving of the MVP. Good shout out for him. Really well played this season. Let's move on from most valuable player to the offensive player of the year. We got Justin Jefferson, who had a monster season at the wide receiver position for the Minnesota Vikings. 128 catches, 1,800 yards, 8 touchdowns, 14.4 average catch. Touchdowns, 8th, 11th in the league, first in receptions, first in yards. So this season.
Justin Jefferson had a historic year. I mean, in the same breath as Randy Moss and Jerry Rice. Well deserving.
Yep.
If he couldn't get the MVP, he hell sure should have gotten this one. I don't know who came number 2 or number 3. Do you have the results on that, David?
I will get that right now.
Oh Lord, because I'm looking it up. I just have a list of the results of who won it. I don't have like who came second or third. But yeah, Justin Jefferson, phenomenal year. I mean, we talked about it all year. He double team, single high, triple team. The guy was automatic. I mean, you put your best corner on him, you put your best slot corner on him, you put. It doesn't even matter. It didn't matter what you did with Justin Jefferson. He was still gonna get his numbers. I know he had a couple like pedestrian games, just like 1 or 2 this season. One of them against my Green Bay Packers in Green Bay. But
I mean, he also had that crazy catch against the
Bills.
Against the Bills. So Justin Jefferson was the winner. Patrick Mahomes finished second. Jalen Hurts finished third, and Tyreek Hill was fourth when it comes to offensive player of the year. When you break down the MVP, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and then Justin Jefferson was fifth when it comes to.
I think Justin Jefferson should have been ahead of Joe Burrow. But anyways. Yeah, I think when you look at this award, this has to be given to the best player, best non-quarterback, in my opinion.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
In my opinion.
I think if there's a quarterback that has a phenomenal season, like I thought Jalen Hurts, I actually thought about this when me and TJ did our awards predictions. I actually thought that because I thought Patrick Mahomes was going to win the MVP, I actually would have been okay with Jalen Hurts winning this one, winning offensive player of the year, because we saw the difference in this offense between when Gardner Minshew was in the fold as opposed to when Jalen Hurts. I mean, Jalen Hurts arguably played one of the greatest Super Bowls ever. He just didn't win the game.
Right, and also Jalen Hurts is dual threat, so he's getting it done on the ground, and in the air as well. I mean, he had double-digit rushing touchdowns again this year. I mean, he had how many rushing touchdowns did he have?
I mean, the dude was awesome this season.
He was. And he only played, 13 games? 14 games?
Yeah.
13, 14 games, something like that? Yeah. Phenomenal. But, yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with Justin Jefferson getting this award, though.
No,
like
me
when I
either.
look at
I
everything, the
think
grand scheme of things.
he's very much deserving. But if I had a vote, which obviously I do not, I would have probably given this award to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts rushing touchdowns. He had 13 rushing touchdowns this season. He ran for 760 yards. He on the passing side of this, he threw for 3,700 yards. He threw for 22 touchdowns. He had 6 picks. Jalen Hurts, if we talk about most improved player, yeah, he would have been the most improved player.
Oh,
If that was an award
by a
in the NFL.
landslide.
Yeah, 100%.
By a landslide. Hey, and one day you will get a vote, David.
We'll see. Moving on from NFL awards, let's talk about Defensive Player of the Year, and that went to Nick freaking Bosa, who had 41 tackles this season, 18 and a half sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. He did not have a pick, but he had 18 and a half sacks, tied for first. Actually, that was just first out of defensive players this season. The voting went down like this for Defensive Player of the Year. Nick Bosa obviously finished in first. Parsons finished in second. And Chris Jones actually finished in third to round out the NFL honors. And yeah, Nick Bosa, I don't think there was really a big debate about who deserved this award. I think it was pretty much unanimous.
It should have been. Well, how many sacks did he have? He led the league in sacks.
18 and
17
a half.
18 and a half sacks. I was going to say 17 and a half. 18 and a half sacks. Nick Bosa is,
and he missed the game. I mean, if he doesn't miss a game, I mean, he has an
he probably
opportunity
gets
to
20
break.
sacks.
Yeah, 100%. He has an opportunity to break that record if he gets to, if he plays one more game.
Michael Strahan, is it? Who's got the record? Is Michael Strahan?
Strahan does.
Strahan's got the record.
Yeah, nobody's broken that record yet.
Man, he'll break it. He will break it. I think he will break it.
I mean, I think somebody's eventually going to break it. They got an extra game. I think eventually that record will fall. I'm actually surprised it hasn't fallen already because there have been some players that have been real close and just missed it by a couple sacks here or there. But yeah, Nick Bosa totally deserving of this honor.
Yeah.
I guess
there's not much for me to say. I mean, when you look at Micah Parsons, I definitely second best deserving to win this award as well. When I look at Micah Parsons, he did have a couple games where it was a little pedestrian. Every game Nick Bosa played, he was an all-star. He was a superstar.
Yeah, I mean,
every single game.
13 and a half sacks. I think he had a couple of games down the stretch there where he basically posted no sacks whatsoever. That's got to factor into, I mean, how you see him when it comes to DPOY. I mean, he had a game. So down the stretch, down the stretch, he averaged, so he had 1.5 sacks in the final 6 games of the season, and that's just not going to get it done if you want to win Defensive Player of the Year. And he had a lot of games where he had 0 sacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games where he did not record a sack in the game.
Insane. Yeah. So yeah, Nick Bosa was damn near averaging the sack a game. Pretty much.
He did average a sack a game.
Yeah. Pretty much. So
and Chris Jones had a solid season this year at the defensive tackle position, but I never thought he had a chance, even though he did have 15 and a half sacks. Quietly had 15 and a half sacks.
Chris Jones, yeah, definitely. I mean, another young player, Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, what I'll say about this, man, like I said,
Chris Jones is pushing 30, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, all I'm saying, he's kind of that's right there. Was he 28? Well, how many? He was 28, 29?
He's only 28. He's only 20. He's younger than I thought he was.
Yeah, you're like 30. He's pushing 30, but he is pushing 30. I mean, that's kind of he's in his prime. But man, look,
I thought he was already had the 30. I thought he was over 30 years old.
You thought he was over 30? Dude, that is the quietest 15. How many said 15 and a half sacks?
15 and a half.
Dude, that is the quietest 15 and a half sacks I've ever in my life in the NFL. It wasn't talked about enough this season. No, it literally was not talked about enough this season.
I mean, but yeah, I think he was third in the NFL in sacks. Like that's at the defensive tackle position. That is damn impressive.
That's Aaron Donald like, and I don't want to compare him to Aaron Donald because nobody's Aaron Donald.
It was tied for fourth when it comes with 15 and a half. Like that is damn good production out of the defensive tackle position.
Like they say, that is dynamite, baby. That's dynamite.
Moving on from Defensive Player of the Year, let's talk about Offensive Rookie of the Year and Defensive Rookie of the Year. Both go to Jets. We have Garrett Wilson, the wide receiver from the New York Jets. He had a pretty solid season. 83 catches, 1,103 yards, 4 touchdowns, and the guy was just consistent most of the season. I mean, they have a bright future there in New York if they can find somebody to throw them the football. I mean, they lose 6 in a row to wrap up the season. I mean, if you have a more consistent quarterback play, you win a couple of those games and you make the playoffs. Garrett Wilson had a fantastic season. I have no issues with him winning this particular award. When it comes to the voting, he was first. Kenneth Walker, the second, or the third, was second. And then Brock Purdy actually finished in the top 3.
Well, let me say this. Garrett Wilson, 1,100 yards, 4 touchdowns, like you said. He had Zach Wilson. I don't even want to attach another name to Zach Wilson. He had Joe Flacco and Mike White throwing him the football.
Didn't he have that other guy too to throw him some game?
I don't know. I don't know.
Was it Stabler? What he threw some passes for the Jets this season.
Did he? I don't know. I really don't know. But those other 3 main guys. And you know what? I'll say this. Garrett Wilson looked way more comfortable out of all 3 quarterbacks. He looked so comfortable with like Joe Flacco throwing him the football. Like every time Joe Flacco was playing.
That game they came back and beat the Dolphins, or no. I don't remember. They gave the Cleveland Browns in week number 2. That game that he came back and won that game, he played out of his mind in that game.
He did. And what was it? Joe Flacco was the quarterback. Joe Flacco. And so yeah, every time Joe Flacco was in the game, he throwing the football, like it looked like he was like super comfortable. But it kind of really didn't matter, right? It's kind of like the DeAndre Hopkins thing, right? It's like it doesn't matter who's the Arizona Cardinals quarterback. DeAndre Hopkins is gonna get the ball, right? So it's just like that. Garrett Wilson, he's an amazing talent. Now let me talk about Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker, if he would have started the season as the number 1 running back, he probably could have pushed a lot more to win this award. He had a fantastic season, especially
1,050 yards, 9 touchdowns. And that's factoring in the fact that he missed a few games down the stretch.
He missed a quarter of the season.
I mean, you missed 15 games down. You missed a couple games down the stretch.
Yeah, he missed. He missed the first 2, right? First 2 or 3 games because first like 1 or 2 games because of that abdominal injury, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, no, he played in those games. He was active. Did he play? He was active for those games, but he did not actually see the field. Like didn't see the field. So his first 3 games of the season, he combined for 15 carries for
and that's when Rashad Penny was the number 1 guy before he went
for
down
60 yards. So he had 60 yards on 15 carries to start the season. Rashad Penny gets injured in that game against New Orleans. His carries after that game: 21, 23, 18, 26, 10, 14, 3. That's the game where he got hurt. To a game where he came back and got hurt, 12, and then 26, 23, and 29 to wrap up the season in a game where they beat the Rams. And he just was awesome, especially down the stretch. 114 yards in week number 17, 133 yards in week number 16, 107 yards in week number 15 against the Kansas City Chiefs.
And it's like they were just giving him the ball more and more down the stretch here, as the season wound down, to help out Gino. But Kenneth Walker is well deserved. I mean, if he would have played the whole season, I think he would have pushed to win this award. Who was third? You said
Brock Purdy for the San Francisco
Brock Purdy. Yeah, and then Brock Purdy. I mean, he literally saved the 49ers season. I mean, nobody really expected what he was going to bring to the table. I think people like that are like fans of him from like Iowa State college football fans. They saw, this guy was a 68% completion percentage passer at college. Well, that kind of translated to the NFL in a way because Mike Shanahan, he doesn't want his, quarterbacks, he wants them to play it safe, throw the intermediate throws, find his weapons. He doesn't have to do too much. He doesn't have to throw deep like that. Brock Purdy doesn't have the strongest of arms. And Brock Purdy's just a winner. And so down the stretch, how many games did Brock Purdy play? 7, 8, 9?
I think he only played 4 games. I don't know, but he was very good down the stretch.
Oh, he played more. He played more than 4 games. He played at least 6 or 7, something like that. Yeah, but he looked really good. He looked real comfortable in that offense. And golly, I mean, Who was fourth or fifth? I'm assuming Chris Olave had to be in there too.
Brock Purdy had played 9 games actually.
9 games. Yeah, he played 9 games. Okay.
Yeah, so
I have to say Chris Olave has to be in that voting as well, right?
Not according to this, because they only give him the top 3.
Top 3.
I imagine Chris Olave was in the voting because yes, he did have an excellent rookie season, a little bit up and down, but yeah, he did a fantastic season.
And with Chris Olave, it's like with the Saints, man, they were just like, let's just run fast, and we're gonna throw it deep. Yeah, Chris Olave had 72 receptions, 1,000 yards, and 4 touchdowns, almost very similar to his old Ohio State teammate in Garrett Wilson. Very similar, very similar. So yeah, man, he's got to be definitely in the top 5 of voting, but. Yeah, we got some good rookies. We had some good rookies this year.
We had some good rookies on the defensive side of the ball too. I mean, Sauce Gardner ends up taking home defensive rookie of the year. He beat out Aiden Hutchinson and Tariq Woolen, rounded up the top 3 when it comes to voting. Sauce Gardner was awesome from the jump. 51 tackles. He only had 2 picks, but he really didn't get thrown at a whole lot because of how good he was this season. Yeah, this is a guy that was excellent this season.
Yes, he's a shutdown corner. He took it upon himself to go against. I mean, the one game where they played the Packers. I'll just, for example, he shut down one side of the field. I mean, he was literally that good. So yeah, I gotta give Sauce Gardner all the credit in the world. He's literally as advertised coming in from Cincinnati. He was, one of the best. He was probably the best corner in college football last year. He translates, what he brought to the table there. Long arms, can really press on you, play well in zone, play well on man. He's athletic, he's physical, nice at the point of attack. Love Sauce Gardner. When I look at Aiden Hutchinson, sky's the limit for him. He had how many sacks, David? 8.5?
I will get that number. Just give me a second.
Something like that around that. Aiden Hutchinson had some crazy good plays. What was the one play?
Aiden Hutchinson had 9.5 sacks, 3 interceptions.
9.5 sacks.
One of
3 interceptions. There you go.
That crazy interception he had on Aaron Rodgers during this season.
In the red zone? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he had a couple of interceptions like that. Yeah, Aiden Hutchinson was awesome this season, tied for 20th in sacks.
He had the one against the Bears.
Yeah,
where I don't even know
it was
what's
going on.
So. Well, he was like way back there. He was like doing like a Jose Alvarado kind of thing, right? Where he was kind of like hiding disguised in the zone, and then he just like picked off Justin Fields. So yeah, Aiden Hutchinson was amazing. 3 interceptions, 9.5 sacks. He's well deserving as well. Who's the other guy? You said Tariq Woolen?
Tariq Woolen, who had 6 interceptions this season. He had tied for the most in the National Football League. Pass deflections, he had tied for 4th with 16. 46 tackles. The guy was just awesome as a 5th-round pick for the Seattle Seahawks. That's drafting well, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, they're drafting extremely well. Yeah, he's one of the impact rookies that started this year for Pete Carroll. So yeah, the sky's the limit for that kid too. But yeah, Sauce Gardner, amazing choice. I can't say nothing else about it, man. He's gonna be a great shutdown corner for 10 years.
Yeah, he's in that Darrelle Revis mold. Well, I hate to put that kind of expectations on him, but I think he's.
Oh, we gotta put it on him. We gotta put it on him, David. Yeah. We got to.
Moving on from there, let's talk about comeback player of the year, Geno Smith. He called, but nobody called back. Big time season for Geno Smith.
No, they wrote him off, and he didn't write back.
There you go. There you go. 4,200 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Took a Seattle Seahawks team that most of us consider to be the worst team in the NFL to the playoffs. That accomplishment alone should be worth winning this award. But this is a guy everybody wrote off. Nobody gave him an opportunity. Now he's probably going to get paid this offseason, somewhere around $30 million this offseason. He's going to make so Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley were 2nd and 3rd when it comes to this award.
Wow.
Both of those guys had good seasons, and especially Saquon Barkley, they really bounced back from which was a injury-riddled couple seasons for him to basically get the Giants into the playoffs.
Yeah, man. No, Saquon Barkley, he was in my MVP conversation for like half the year. I kept screaming that all year. And then Christian McCaffrey, definitely once he got traded to San Francisco, he was lights out for them as well. And he was like, even before that, he was good. Yeah, even before that, he was putting up numbers in Carolina. He's the only guy that was putting up.
Chris McCaffrey, 1,100 yards rushing, 8 touchdowns. Let me see what his rushing numbers were real quick. Hold on. And then Saquon Barkley on the other side, 1,300 yards rushing for him.
Yeah, he was dynamite. See, this is what I'm going to say about Geno. Had led the league in completion percentage. He was lights. Nobody expected Geno to play this well for the Seattle Seahawks. He is one of the main reasons why they even made it to the playoffs. I mean, he is
the reason. Let's be real.
He is the reason. Week after week, he gave Seattle a chance to win. Nobody expected these guys to even do anything. They thought they were going to die. They were going to be in the bottom of the West. They weren't going to make the playoffs. They were going to be getting a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. And none of that happened. Geno Smith propelled them into the playoffs. I mean, he was accurate as all hell. He was throwing dimes all over the field, had poise, became a leader for that team. And I mean, going from like a bench player being on his, what is this, his third team in the NFL?
I think this is his third team, but so yeah, he played. Actually, this is his fourth team.
Fourth team.
Yeah, because he played for the Jets. He was drafted there. He played 1 season with the Giants. Somehow he played 1 season with the Chargers that I absolutely do not remember. He was out of the league for an entire season. Then this is his 3rd season in Seattle.
That is incredible. That is incredible. So, and then I mentioned Jared Goff. You know, should have got come. I mean, when I look at Jared Goff, I mean, rightfully so, those other 3 guys probably ahead of him, right? Because of injuries and Geno Smith out of the league and comes back. But what Jared Goff did, to turn his season around, like, he got traded last year, right? And then, this year he just has an incredible year for the Detroit Lions. I'm talking about they couldn't control their destiny because they got knocked out the playoffs before that Green Bay game, but they did everything they could to make the playoffs. And like Jared Goff had one of the best years of his career in Detroit.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Jared Goff, 4,400 yards, the second most or third most of his career. He had 2 seasons in Los Angeles where he played better than this. But he threw for, this is the least amount of interceptions he's thrown since he was a rookie, with only 7 picks, 29 touchdowns. The dude was just super efficient too. 65% completion percentage. That's his 3rd highest in his career as well. His numbers from Detroit from year 1 and year 2, 1,200 more passing yards for Jared Goff between last season and this season, 10 more touchdowns, 1 less interception. Jared Goff balled out this season, that's for sure.
Balled out. And a lot of people were saying that, Detroit should go get a quarterback. And a lot of people are still saying Detroit should go get a quarterback because, they may think this is a fluky year for Jared Goff. But I think he definitely bounced back from that first year in Detroit. But he just didn't have those injuries. I guess I don't know what the curriculum is for the not curriculum, but what the criteria is for this award. Do you have to be injured? Do you have to be out the league? Do you have to be on the bench? Do you have to, what I mean?
I gotta be honest with you. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows what the criteria is for this. So whatever. I'm gonna give Jared Goff a shout out on that one. So whatever.
Yeah, I love it. To the final award, Coach of the Year goes to Brian Daboll. He took over a New York Giants team that had lost at least 10 games in each of the last 5 seasons and brought them to the playoffs. He brought it to a roster that really had no depth at the wide receiver position. Saquon Barkley carried them. Daniel Jones really took a step up. This defense isn't all that talented, and still they managed to play good defense. Brian Daboll, super deserving of this particular award.
Brian Daboll, if he didn't win this award, I would have been like, man, well, I don't know what the hell. There's another one that's deserving of this award. Doug Peterson.
Yeah, Doug Peterson would finish 3rd when it comes to Coach of the Year. Kyle Shanahan was 2nd as he guided the San Francisco 49ers all the way to the NFC Championship game. 3 different quarterbacks that played significant minutes for him this season.
Yeah, 3. Well, Trey Lance was done after the first game.
I think that was the second game.
It was the second game. Sorry about that. And then, Jimmy Garoppolo played well for him. And then, here comes Brock Purdy. Nobody expected Mr. Irrelevant to play as good as he did. right? So yeah, Kyle Shanahan is another well deserving. But if I had to switch, I would actually put. I mean, Doug Peterson. I'd put him at number two. I mean, I
I
don't.
would make that decision too.
Yeah, I don't think people don't give him like number three should be, have way more. He should be praised a little bit more than that because nobody expected Jacksonville to even make the playoffs this year. I don't think anybody.
You can make the same argument though for the Giants. I mean, but yeah, Jacksonville. Nobody had them making the playoffs. I thought they'd be better this season, but I for sure didn't have them making the playoffs.
No.
They benefit from the fact that they play in the worst division in the NFL.
Yes, there you go.
They just do, like for real.
They do play in the worst division in the NFL. I'll give you that. They got to play the Texans twice, 2 dubs. They play the Colts, who are in shambles, and the Tennessee Titans, who after Ryan Tannehill went down, and even before he kind of went down,
they were struggling a little bit too.
They were struggling a little bit in the past.
But Brian Daboll, the fact that turnaround for that Giants team without adding they didn't really add anything that you expect to make a big trade, add a player that kind of changes the landscape of that team. That trade never happened. It never occurred. This was a hell of a coaching job by Brian Daboll.
Hell of a coaching job, and he actually, I mean, he turned like Daniel Jones. Looked like he looked really good this year. He lowered his interceptions. He looked, lowered his mistakes. He looked poised this year. He looked, well coached this year. It didn't look like he was just kind of out there, just kind of willy nilly making plays and not, doing anything with them. He made plays in clutch situations, and that's all. I got to give that to Brian Daboll, for the job that he's worked with Josh Allen and from previous years there in Buffalo. So.
I mean, you can make the argument. Josh Allen's regression from one season to the next is all you need to know about how good a coach Brian Daboll is.
Absolutely. Right. I'm glad you brought that up. Because yes, he did regress, and Brian Daboll is a guy that was should be in there when it's called for his success from the years previous. So but yeah, I have to say this, man. Brian Daboll, one thing I did like though is that, man, he's a bulldog out there.
Yeah,
I mean his teams, that New York Giants team will will run through a wall for that guy, because I seen Brian Daboll.
It's a lot to do with like the Dan Campbell mindset. Like Dan Campbell has players that play hard for him because they know that this coach is going to go bad for them, and they're willing to play hard for him.
Exactly, and that is like why he's responsible for that turnaround, because he changed the whole culture in that locker room for the New York Giants, and those players will run through a wall for Brian Daboll. I love that coach, man. He's a bulldog. I think he's gonna get the New York Giants, pretty far if they add a few more pieces. But they're in the right direction there in New York. Brian Daboll, congratulations, man.
Yeah. Awesome season for the New York Giants. A couple of lesser awards real quick before we get up out of here. Assistant Coach of the Year went to DeMeco Ryans for the San Francisco 49ers. The Moment of the Year went to Justin Jefferson and that one-handed catch against the Buffalo Bills. The FedEx Air and Ground Players of the Year went to Joe Burrow and Josh Jacobs. Salute to Service went to Commanders head coach Ron Rivera.
Okay.
The Celly of the Year, I don't know what the Bud Light Celly of the Year is. Oh, Celebration of the Year, duh. Goes to the Cincinnati Bengals. What is it?
What the hell? I'll have to look at that celebration, because that's a weird one right there. I know the players.
It looks like they're going on a roller coaster. It's a defensive celebration. It's interesting. The NFL Fan of the Year went to Seahawks fan Larry Bevins. And Deacon Jones Sack Leader Award goes to 49ers Nick Bosa.
So, Player of the Year, was it NFL? I saw NFL Moment of the Year went to Justin Jefferson. That one catch that we talked about from the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Angry. They have an angry Run of the Year went to Dameon Pierce.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't know what run he did there. I don't know which one that is. And then who was the Walter Payton Man of the Year award went to Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Good job for winning those awards.
Let us know down in the comment section what you thought about this year's NFL awards. If you thought the right guys won the right awards, because that's a big part of the National Football League. We're going to be swinging into our off-season coverage tomorrow. I can't remember what division we're going to be doing, but that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. We're trying to bang out every single team's off-season preview before the NFL draft. Sprinkle in some NFL draft stuff and some next week. We're going to do a show where we talk about just kind of the moments in the NFL, the most disappointing team, most disappointing player, surprise, that kind of stuff. So keep an eye out for that content. I've been David Huffman right there as the CEO of Prime Sports World, Mr. Israel Rivera. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. And if you do happen to miss us live, you can catch us on a myriad of streaming platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. That link is right there into the comment section on all of the streaming places where we YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitch. I usually switch Twitch and Twitter to switch them up every single day. So whatever show we happen to be on that particular day. But yeah, all of you have a very happy Valentine's Day from everybody here at Prime Sports World.
Hey, David, I'm sorry. Speaking of Valentine's Day, did you see the Valentine's Day tweet that Juju put out for I think was it for CJ Gardner Johnson?
I have not seen it.
You have not seen it? Oh, you have to see it, ladies and gentlemen. He posted, I wish something about, I wish if you could get a hug like this or something like that. Oh no, he said, you wish you got somebody to hold you like this. And it was like a Valentine's Day cutout with CJ Gardner Johnson's picture there. And then word got around, obviously, because it's Twitter, and AJ Brown kind of went in on him. So yeah, I didn't know that you didn't see that, but that was funny. That was funny.
Hold on. So this is it right here.
Oh, is everybody? Oh, yo, you got.
Yeah, hold on.
This was hilarious, man. It was hilarious. Oh, he's pulling it up. Yeah, it was. I'll hold you when it matters the most. That is A1 stuff by Juju. That is A1 trolling by Juju. And AJ Brown did not like that. So
I can imagine why.
so yes, ladies and gentlemen, on this Valentine's Day, remember Juju had his troll game on 1,000 for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, 100%. We'll be back on tomorrow. You guys all have a good night. Stay safe, brother. And what we do here at the Prime, my friend,
we bring the heat, ladies and gentlemen. Bringing the heat.
24/7. Babies. We'll be back here tomorrow. Baby. You all have a good night. I'll see you later.
Peace out, guys.